All right, we are live. We're live. We did it. Happy 2022 to everyone in the vinyl community. If you're just tuning in for the first time, my name is Matt. I have a record obsession, and I tend to open them on camera sometimes to talk about the albums that come in and talk to you guys about music and get some questions and hopefully provide some entertainment for about an hour. So, yeah, excited to see who pops in tonight, and excited to open these. I think we have about nine or so records. There were supposed to be two more that were supposed to be delivered today, but the USPS is running late, so they will not make the stream, unfortunately. But that's okay. Hey, what's up, Travis? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so we'll wait for a few more people to trickle in, and then I'll start doing some damage with the TMR slicer. So that should be fun. Happy New Year, everybody. Michael's here, Nick's here. Yeah, Nosh woke up in the middle of the night for me, which is always an honor. Caleb, Frank. Any Blink-182? I don't think I've ordered any recently, so I doubt it. But with the way I order, you never know. Oliver's here, yeah! Ooh, Roland's asking, what's for dinner? It's a good question. I think I'm going to get fried chicken from a place called Biggs. Have you had it, Roland? It's very good. Their sauces are incredible. Their buffalo sauce has like maple syrup in it. I'm going to really start getting healthier next month. This month I'm kind of throwing it to the wind. I actually ordered some like resistance bands for home workouts because I know rather than going to a gym, I would much more easily work out at home. So excited to get back into the health stuff after a rough pandemic. But yeah, tonight, fried chicken. Why not? Hey, your boy Tone's here. And Lisa. All right, we can get started. What I will say is Elk Vision just said, hope there's a vaguely optimistic store update. Vaguely optimistic. What's optimistic is that I have a place that I really like that we're down the road with. Basically, my broker is in talks with their landlord to try to figure out specifically what they will do for tenant improvements, because there need to be a few things built into it, like a bathroom, a back storage area, some drywall, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm just waiting to hear from their landlord, like, who wants to do the deal. They think that what I'm trying to build is awesome, and they want to have a record store. It's just a matter of will they pay for the right amount of tenant improvement to justify the space. But if we get this space, guys, it is going to be so cool. It is a prime location, super walkable. Just, it's awesome. It's right across from a brewery. Like, there's a lot of cool things, so please cross your fingers that I have some good updates for you the next week or two. As soon as I sign a lease, I am going to be pounding the channel with content about the store, about getting your opinions on things I should or should not do. It's going to be awesome. So fingers crossed. We will see what happens. I just saw Respawn is in here. Your family's doing better. That's awesome. I know you guys are really going through it, so I'm excited to see what you have for me. That's great. There will be no Respawn records in this pile, but hopefully in a future unboxing you will see some magic. So let's begin. All right. I know what a few of these are, but I'm actually unclear about what a lot of them are. I see a lot of questions. As you guys know, this is my rule. During the unboxing, I usually focus on the records, and at the end I'll do Q&A. However, if you want to drop a super chat in the thing, I will stop what I'm doing and answer your question to the best of my ability. But that's only for the big spenders who have $1 or $1,000 to spend, depending. I had something else to say. I just forgot. Anyway, let's just keep going. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button. That costs no money, and it helps. So this is something that I was on the fence about getting, and I ended up getting it, and I don't think I'm going to regret it. This is the limited from their web store. This is the Green Day BBC sessions. this is a really solid session. And, I like early Green Day a lot, pretty much up till American Idiot, and then some songs off American Idiot, and really nothing past that. And this is that era. I mean, the track list on this is incredible. And this is on blue and pink vinyl, which matches, obviously, very nicely. I always appreciate that. But just the track list, they recorded this for the radio, and the track list is amazing. Some of my favorite songs are on here. It starts with She, which is just an incredible Green Day song. But they got When I Come Around, Basket Case, Geek Stink Breath, Brain Stew, Walking Contradictions, great, Hitchin' a Ride, Minority, and Waiting. It's just like a really, really great set of songs done live and not quite stripped down, but not, full blast. And it's, I listened to a bunch of it on Spotify. I thought it was really good. So I thought I wanted to spin this. I was also hearing that the pressing is pretty fantastic. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to pick it up, but I feel like for Green Day, I only own International Super Hits, their first greatest hits comp. I don't think I own anything else. I don't even own Dookie, which I probably should. I don't know why that's like a hole in my collection. It's come and gone a few times since I started collecting records. So one of these days, if I see it at a store, I'll probably just grab it. It's a cool variant, but we'll see. All right. And from our dear friends at Tiger Blood Tapes, which is a label that I think is extremely underrated. They pump out endless supplies of vaporwave and vaporwave adjacent records. Long lead times, but that's kind of the name of the game in the industry today, unfortunately. This is a album called, the fish named Saki. I've shown this off before. This is the only version that has the full album on it. The original press was missing some of the tracks. This is done, I believe, over 2 discs, and it's a really good vaporwave album. Kind of has that aquatic feel to it at times. But yeah, Saki. What is the... it's in Japanese. I don't know the exact name, but Saki. If you're into fish vapor, definitely check it out. All right. Let's keep the train rolling, shall we? This was packed horribly. What is this? I don't even know what this is. I remember ordering this, but I don't remember what this is. So this is MAGS. I don't know if it's pronounced that or Mags. The album's called Say Things That Matter. I truly don't recall why I pre-ordered this. I feel like this must have been like a... sometimes you go on Reddit vinyl releases and you see a bunch of people getting hyped about a release. So you're like, okay, let me see what this is about. And then I'll go and listen to some of it. And if it's really cool, I'll be like, oh, well, I should probably jump on it because, if it sells out and I regret it, that's the way this hobby goes. I must have listened to some of this and thought it was cool. I can't for the life of me remember anything about it, though. So I don't really have too much to say about it, but MAGS, Say Things That Matter. I don't know. You tell me. Who knows? Alright, so let's keep the train rolling. Keep the train rolling. See what I did there, Roland? It looks like an analog synth album, but it's not. It's definitely like a singer-songwriter indie pop thing, if I remember correctly. What do we have here? Oh, here we go. Some more vaporwave. It's so funny, guys. I don't listen to that much vaporwave these days. I've kind of fallen out of it. And every time I do one of these damn live streams, I just happen to get like 3 vaporwave records delivered. This is it's almost like a joke at this point. This is another album by Groceries, which is one of my favorite vaporwave artists. Yes, We're Open is one of my favorite albums of the scene. And this is one of their albums. It's called Ascension. And it's just good, more good vaporwave. Geometric Lullaby, they pretty much also, like Tiger Blood Tapes, they have no misses. They just kind of hit with everything they put out. So I usually end up grabbing everything they put out. I am excited to have a vaporwave section in the record store. I have a lot of records that I've kind of fallen out of love with that are still really popular within the scene. I think that I can safely say that the TMR store will have the best vaporwave selection in all of Portland. We'll see. I don't want to toot my horn too much, but I think I have a lot of cool stuff, especially for the opening. So we will see what comes out of that. All right, let's see what's in this box. I feel like I'm not showing you guys the mailer enough. I'm just doing it in my lap. So here's the mailer. I'm really opening them. This is a real thing that's happening for you and me. All right, here we go. All right, so this is not vaporwave, but holy smokes, this cover is cool as hell. Oh, it's a lenticular print. It's not the actual cover. Anyway, this is... I wish that was the cover. They should have adhered that to the cover. That's frustrating, but that's still cool. So this was a cool project. This is the Super Mario 64... Sorry, refresh. Am I dumb? This is the Mario Kart 64 soundtrack, but done through I believe it's an 8-bit filter, either 8 or 16-bit. It's basically, it sounds like a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo game. They 8-bitized it. And obviously these tracks are super iconic. I grew up playing Mario 64. I still play it, at parties with friends occasionally. It's an amazing game, amazing soundtrack. And the 8-bit version is definitely novelty, but I had to get it because I loved the variants, and I loved... I missed the Rainbow Road variant, but I got this really cool, I guess this is maybe like Koopa Troopa Beach, kind of like, I love these kind of ghosting variants that have been coming out a lot lately. I think they're super beautiful. But what I was saying before about the, is this licensed by Nintendo? I don't think it has to be because it's technically a cover record. I think that would probably be mechanical rights, which anyone can get, I believe. Maybe that's not true. I mean, I know I had to deal with mechanical rights when I did the Contra cover album for the record label. So I don't know. It's a little different. It's not like it, but check this out. It comes with this lenticular print. I don't know if you guys can see this in the... Oh, it's like you could... Is it Toad? Is that Mario? Look, it's Mario. Is he moving? Hold on, let me see if I can do it. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you do it up and down, and and it looks like the shell is going around him, like how the shells revolve when you're about to shoot them. That's a cool lenticular. I'm a huge fan of that. Again, I wish that this was on the cover. A lot of lenticular covers, like I have a Black Moth Super Rainbow Cobra Juicy, where the lenticular cover is basically it's like pasted onto the cover. Maybe I'll find a way to do that, just because I feel like I'm not going to do anything with the prints, but having the actual cover would be really cool. So overall, a very nice package from a label that shows a lot of promise. I think they've had a couple releases so far. I'm trying to remember. I have one more by them, and I'm trying to remember what it is. BSOD, Black Screen of Death. So yeah, definitely into that. I love that stuff. Let's keep opening things because we need that dopamine, folks. It's been tough out here in the world for the past forever, it feels like. All right, let's keep going. The company that did that was BSOD Records. All right. This was a Newberry Comics pickup. This is someone that I don't listen to that frequently anymore, but I've had this urge to revisit it because I was really big into him back in high school. This is Jack Johnson's Brushfire Fairy Tales. I believe this is his first record. Yeah, 2000, wow. But this is the Newberry Comics version. I believe the only limited variant of it. I could be wrong. This doesn't have all of his really, really popular songs like Banana Pancakes and some of the ones that got a lot of play when it came out, but I've actually spent the least time with this out of his popular records, and I'm excited to give it a spin. I feel like it might hit the spot, and if it doesn't, to the store it goes, but I think it will. Yeah, it sold out very quickly, which, Newberry pressings tend to do that depending on the release. But yeah, I think Jack Johnson's a little overrated. You know, she says when you first listened to this CD, it sounded live and organic. Well, hopefully the record experience will match that or transcend that even. We got a boo in the crowd from Ryan. Can we not listen? Jack Johnson, you know, it's a little cheesy, some of his music, but I also think he has like a good vibe to it, and I'm excited to listen to it, and hopefully here we go. I talk about this in my recent videos. If you guys are all caught up about how it's important to read the hype sticker to know the details behind the sourcing of the pressing, and this says it's the anniversary edition that's remastered by Bernie Grundman, manufactured at RTI. Bernie Grundman, one of the best names in the business, RTI, one of the best plants in the business. That combination probably means that it's going to sound fantastic. So I'm excited to spin this. Hopefully it provides me a new love for this album. We'll see. All right. This is a little hobbled together mailer. Let's see if this survived. Did I pre-order the new Lizzie McAlpine album today? I don't think I know who that is. And if I should know who that is, I'm going to feel like a fool. But I guess we'll... Ooh, I almost just sliced my leg with this. Really came close. That was a real close. All right. Oh man, I ordered this a while ago. I ordered this a while ago, I think. So this is a very... what's going on with this jacket? This is weird. I've never seen this. They have the obi strip holding the disc in, but it's not inside the jacket, which is interesting. So I'll slide it in the jacket real quick. So this is Marine Flowers by Akira Ito. This is a very classic... well-respected new age kind of ambient record that the original presses go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and then this label got the rights to repress it, so they did a limited press of it. I think it sold out fairly quickly, but if you're in, I mean, the cover pretty much just tells you everything you need to know about what this music's going to sound like and the vibe of it. I'm a huge fan of what I've heard. I wanted to wait to get the full record to... Sorry, I need a little water there. I wanted to wait till I get the full record to give it the full experience. And, you know, my official stance on ambient music on vinyl is that sometimes it's detrimental to the medium, because if it's not a dead silent pressing, which unfortunately a lot of the ambient records I own are not dead silent, depending on the style of music, it can take away from the experience. But as a collector, I still need to just... I need to, you know, get the albums that I love, and this is one that, because the original goes for so much money, I knew that I would probably regret not grabbing the repress. So, yeah, first official remastered reissue of this new age masterpiece. That's awesome. And I love a good obi strip. I gotta here's a quick rant for you guys. Ready? This is an obi strip, right? The ones that Vinyl Me Please does, and some of the other labels that have started doing it, that kind of like hug the side and don't have like this gap between it, those aren't obi strips, and they call them obi strips, and what they are just annoying. They're hard, they fall off the side of the record jacket, they're pointless, I hate them, and an obi strip will, you know, look nice and classy and allow you to still pull the record in and out, and it won't fall off as you're handling the jacket, but so many labels are doing the fake obi, and I hate it. That's my official stance on BS obi strips. Every single Vinyl Me Please release, I get it in, and I'm like struggling to get the thing to go on the side and then slide it into their crappy, you know, like plastic outer sleeves that, you know, it's like the adhesive on the inside, so you're like tearing the jacket, you're ripping the sleeve, and you put it down. Anyway, for a company that makes that much money, I feel like they should be upping the quality of a lot of their stuff, but whatever. I don't work there. I don't know how they work. Nick says, thank you for the first super chat of the year. Nick, that's the first super chat of the year, my man. Thoughts on the new album by Bonobo? You can't call a best album of 2022 19 days in. Here's my thoughts. I haven't listened yet, and that's because I love early Bonobo. The first, like, 4 albums, like, through, like, the North Borders, or Black Sands. I forget which order those came in. Unbelievable. Migration, was that the last one? I thought it was just okay. It felt like he lost some of the essence of what made his music interesting, and it felt a little more homogenous, a little more like it could have blended in with Odessa or Rye or some of the more kind of mainstream electronic acts. So I'm intrigued to hear it because I historically love Bonobo, but I just was a little turned off by the last record. But if you say it's that good, I'll definitely prioritize it. I don't. Did I pre-order it? I might have actually pre-ordered it. It's just one of those things where you kind of lose track sometimes. But I'm excited to give it a listen with your support because I feel like I trust your taste in music. So we will see. All right, we blew through that, guys. This is the last mailer, but I'll stick around and do some Q&A as long as you guys have Q&A for me. Happy to answer questions about the label, the store. Oh, before I do this, I gotta make an announcement. TMR 14, the 14th record on the label, is going to be up for pre-order and announced on Friday. Very excited for this one. This was an accidental discovery of this album, and I immediately fell in love with it. And I reached out to the artist, and they were like, "I'm game. Let's do it." It's a little plunderphonic-y, which is cool. And it's a little it's unique. I think it's the first of its kind on the label in full, and I think that a lot of people, if you trust my taste thus far, I think you'll be very pleased with this. And I'm hoping that everyone jumps on board. You know, I think that we'll make it. We knock on wood, we have yet to not make 100 orders minimum for any record yet. So let's make it happen. Tyler, Dawn FM thoughts. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Tyler. Unfortunately, I haven't listened, and that's because I'm very lukewarm on The Weeknd. I like Trilogy a lot, but everything after Trilogy, I just couldn't really vibe with. I didn't even like After Hours that much. I thought it was just like 80s worship. It wasn't that interesting. It was entertaining, but it wasn't like reinventing the wheel, and people were acting like it was like a Kanye record in terms of like how inventive it was, and I was like, this is not. I have not listened to the new record. I probably will because I want to have an informed opinion. I feel like I sometimes make snap judgments on larger artists that I have a certain feeling about, and I think it's not fair to them, and I should give everything a chance. So I will probably listen to it. Brandon, thank you for the super chat. Have I heard of Los Campesinos or The Strokes? Yes. I've been a fan of The Strokes for 15 years. I love The Strokes. Yeah, Los Campesinos, I tried to get into them back in high school, and I think the way I described them to someone was that it's a little too, like chanty. Like, hey! Oh! Not like the Ramones. That was the Ramones. But it was a little too, like, I don't know. I tried to describe this to someone recently. I'm not doing a good job of it right now. But I couldn't get into it. It's not my thing. But I recognize that it's... someone just mentioned that too many TMR is the same catalog naming convention as Third Man Records. I realized that very early on in the label, and you know what? I just doubled down. There are other labels that share catalog numbers with labels, and it's not unheard of within this world. It's great company to be a part of. I feel like being even related to them in that small way is kind of cool, even if they would probably look at it and be like, I wish that wasn't his name. Too late to change it now. We're just going to keep rolling with it. All right, let's look at this last record, and then we'll do a little Q&A. Oh, this is something I've been on the hunt for a long time, and I got lucky on Discogs. Right place, right time, kind of sitch. All right. What's the front of this? I think it's this. So this is the People mixtape. People it's a collective. It's actually, is it like called like, it's like a bunch of numbers and letters, I think. 37D03D, is that right? Anyway, this is basically Aaron Dessner, Bryce Dessner of The National, Jonathan Lowe, and a bunch of their friends, and they came together and they have like a label of sorts where they do a lot of digital stuff, a lot of art installation type things, and this is a mixtape of a lot of the artists and friends that they work with, and it's really hard to find. It was on sale for a bit, and then I missed the sale years ago, and I almost never see it pop up on Discogs. It's been on my want list forever, and then someone from the UK had a copy, and I snapped it up real fast. It's really good music. Definitely check it out. There's a version of the People mixtape on Bandcamp. It's not the exact version that's on this record. This record has a different track list, but Jan St. Werner from Mouse on Mars. Yeah, no, it's like a really good collaboration of people. So, yeah, excited to give this a full spin. Anything the Desners do, I'm super interested just because I think they're so talented as composers and guitarists, and, you know, they're both so genius in their own right. So, yeah. So that was the, oh, I missed a super chat. What am I, dum-dum? Nick. Thoughts on the When We Were Young Fest announcement? You've been seeing some controversy, but the lineup is definitely epic. I have a lot of thoughts on it, and my thoughts are this. It's an amazing lineup. I'm extremely excited. I'm going to go, without a doubt. And you know what? People are trying to hate on it for a few reasons. People are trying to build all these conspiracy theories about how, like, bands are on the list that didn't know they were on there, and they're, like, pulling, like, tweets to, like, prove their point. But then Anthony Ranieri, who's from Bayside and other emo bands, he basically said, he tweeted something today that was so apt. He was like, why do people think that the biggest concert promoter in the world and the biggest bands of this scene are, like, not going to do this right? Like, what? Like, I know that the big issue is that, like, yes, the Astroworld tragedy just happened, and it is 100% a tragedy. I don't think that we should not take that as a learning moment. I think that people at Live Nation are definitely going to be like, oh, man, like, we need to make sure this never happens again, because this is an absolute disaster on every level. And I don't think they would do another festival without making sure that all of the issues that were discovered with Astroworld, you know, were resolved. The funny thing is, people are, like, rallying against Live Nation all over Twitter, and I'm like, Live Nation is the promoter of just about every event in the U.S. Like, I guarantee you all those people who are like, boycott Live Nation, have tickets to a show that Live Nation's putting on a smaller scale. So, that being said, I mean, I just think, you know, that's just part of, like, the hypocrisy these days of people that are fighting a fight that they don't really know the full story. I'm excited. It really appeals to me. Obviously, I love emo and pop punk. Those are, like, two of my favorite genres. Never seen Paramore or My Chemical Romance, so that's going to be a dream come true. You know, my big thought was that this could be the perfect day festival-wise, because at a music festival, you know, you get there whenever you get there, whether it's 1, whether it's 3, you know, you spend the day, and, like, by 6 or 7, you're kind of getting a little burnt out, and you're seeing an act, and you like the act, but it's not quite like the last acts of the night where you're super excited. So you're just watching an act play some songs that you may or may not be that into, and your energy kind of wanes. But with this, because it's so many bands on one day, I really believe that it's going to be just like each band playing their best songs, like back to back to back to back. So you're just going all around enjoying the music of your youth, of your current, whatever it may be, and I'm extremely excited for that. I feel like that's something that I need right now after these past couple years of disappointments and fear mongering, and, you know, just real fear based on kind of how things are going. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Sorry, Nick, I kind of went on 4 tangents there, but I hope that answered your question. And then Tyler, Dawn FM is the Weeknd's version of Thriller. That is a huge comparison, my man. I will have to give it a listen, but that, I mean, you're comparing to one of the best albums of all time. That's tough. That's a tough sell for someone like The Weeknd to me, who I think is overrated. But it is what it is. Yeah, Adam, it's not Firefest 2.0. I think every festival promoter on the planet, especially Live Nation, has learned from Firefest that, like, you can't get away with making up a festival. seeing people draw the comparisons makes no sense to me. It's like all of these bands, like Paramore's posting about it. Like, this is not something that was just done and they're trying to figure it out. This is something that's clearly been in the works for a long time. It'll be a fun day regardless. Even if it's a bit of a mess in terms of like how it's set up and how the bands get on and off stage, it'll still be a lot of fun. I think it'll be worth it. You know, we've all spent money on stupider things. You sent me a couple artist recommendations. Check Messenger when you can. I think you'll enjoy them. Cool. I will definitely do my best. I get a lot of artist recommendations from people, and you know, I try to check them out whenever possible. But I really have a lot going on these days with my job, and the store, and the channel, and trying to be a human outside of that. So yeah, I'm stretched pretty thin. But this is a huge year. I'm really excited for the store and everything that's going to come with it. It's kind of like the next chapter, you know? What if the when we were young artists only play new stuff? I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're specifically capitalizing on nostalgia, which is great because it's one of the easiest ways to make money in this world. So I think they're absolutely going to play the hits. One of the complaints people have is too many acts for one day, but the way I describe it, it makes it seem like a strength. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could spread it out, but I feel like it would be more fun. I mean, 2 days would be ideal. I think one day is ambitious with 3 stages, but I don't know. I think like they just got to like lean into it and just like I said, maximize the energy all day. All kill and no filler. That's my motto. You know that. Although there's no Sum 41 on the lineup. They're missing some of my favorites. They're missing, you know, they could have got like a Jack's Mannequin reunion. Like, I'm sure Andrew McMahon would have come back and done that. You know, no Cartel. Huge bummer. I'm excited for Boys Like Girls and Acceptance, though. Those are so good. You're making it your goal to finally visit Portland this year. Yes! Roland and I will show you a good time once you come to Portland. We will have a great weekend. What kind of profession do I do? I work in business development for a marketing company, and that's my day job. And then my other job is the YouTube channel, and it is now also going to be the record store. I'm definitely I'm gonna be busy this year. That's to say the least. But I really feel like the 7 years of doing this channel have led to this, and I really think that the store is going to kind of help the next chapter of the channel blossom into whatever I hope it does. Fingers crossed. It won't work without all your support, so I hope everyone sticks around and they, you know, check out the store, and I'm going to be posting all kinds of cool stuff that the store has for sale whenever I can, and hopefully unique offerings, and, you know, people like to support small business, especially in Portland, so we will see. When does Arms and Sleepers ship? That's a good question. I just approved the audio. Test pressing should probably be here in the next month, but then it could take another like 5 or 6 months, honestly. I don't know. I mean, the plants are supposed to be backed up through this year. So at this point, if people are asking in general about like, oh, when do you think a record's going to ship in general, I just say like, don't expect it this year. Like, spend time with the records in your collection. Spend time with records you could buy at your local store. And the pre-orders will come. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you listen to it next week or next year. Like, it's still music that you're going to have and own and be able to appreciate. And if you need to hear the album, it's always on streaming, right? That's kind of the philosophy I've adopted with vinyl, because it's just like the timelines have gotten so crazy that it's difficult to anticipate anything, you know? Thoughts on Megan Fox and Machine MGR? You mean MGK? I don't really have a thought. I mean, I think they're a funny couple. I think that their weirdness that they're putting in public is refreshing compared to all the very cookie cutter couples that you see in the spotlight. But I don't really care about MGK socially. I just enjoy his pop punk. So will the record store not be full time for you? I'm gonna be there as much as I can. I'm working my job, and then I'll be at the store when I'm not. So it'll kind of be something that, if you go, you might see me. More details of that to come. It's kind of like right now the priority is locking in the location and then getting the store set up, continuing to buy collections to bolster the stock, and then, making sure everything's set up for the grand opening and just, letting it ride and continuing to promote it online, and hopefully we get a cool bunch of people that are going to visit locally, and we'll go from there. In my opinion, is nu metal dead? In the sense of like, are people going to listen to the old stuff that is good? I hope not. I still listen to a decent amount of nu metal, but do I think that a traditional nu metal act will come out that has a sound of that era that'll be good? Probably not. Is it safe to use 70% isopropyl alcohol when making final cleaning solution? Someone else in the chat want to field that? I am not sure. I actually have a video in the next probably month or so that's about cleaning records that I've been sitting on for a little while, and I'm really excited to share it with everyone. It's a pretty big announcement for my setup for what I have going on. But yeah, I look forward to that. It's gonna be a fun one for sure. Store live streams. Yeah, I mean, ideally I'll be doing live streams from the store. Maybe like, at night after we close, I'll probably like pop on and do a live stream maybe once a week. I think that could be really fun. Maybe more if people really get into it. Thoughts on the Death Dynamic Shroud release from last year? I don't think I heard it. I mean, I love DDS. I have a whole bunch of their early tapes and records, but I don't know if I heard the album from last year. What was it called? Ryan, I just answered the Arms and Sleepers question at length. Were you not listening? You're going to have to go back when this is posted and hear it, because I'm not going to repeat all that. I apologize. Do I like Corday's new album? Good question. I love The Lost Boy. I think his first record is so strong and so enjoyable. I haven't heard the new one, but I have heard it is not that good. I've heard pretty much exclusively that it's underwhelming, and it was kind of like he had lightning in a bottle for the first record, and after that it became a little stale and less inspired. I'll still listen to it because I like him and I want to form my own opinion, and I'm just a little underwhelmed. I expected, someone of his stature to put out pretty consistently fantastic music, but, I guess that's not always the case. Thoughts on if Donda 2 will actually happen? No. No, in the sense of this. I don't think an album called Donda 2 will be released. I do think that Kanye will put out more music in the next 2 years. Not just like as like a collection of songs, like an album. I think that it'll have about 4 different album title changes. He'll have a rotating list of collaborators, as he always does, but it will not be called Donda 2. Just like every album has had like 5 different titles. If you go into like the etymology of like the Kanye album titles and go into the history, it's wild. I'm actually super excited for the Genius documentary. I think I'm hoping that I feel like as a super fan of him, I know a lot about him already, but I'm hoping I learn some interesting new stuff, because I love him or hate him, I think he's one of the most fascinating characters in my lifetime. The fact that he's so talented and so polarizing at the same time, it's like people hate to love him sometimes, which is like such an interesting dichotomy. But yeah. Hi Nick, welcome. Do I like Shinedown? I don't like Shinedown. I tried to give them a listen maybe like a year or two ago to be like, have I grown into this? And I just can't get into it personally. Ryan says, I wasn't here when you talked about it. Sorry for not listening when I wasn't even in the stream. I wasn't trying to give you crap for it. You just asked the question earlier and I answered it, and then you asked it again. So I had to be like, I answered it. So I apologize. The short answer is it could be end of this year based on the way that the pressing plants are going. But I answered it a lot more extensively before. It'll probably be in the fall. That's my guess. Who would I say are my top 3 rappers to come out in the last 5 years? Holy crap, that is a loaded question because it's going to make me really kind of think about newer rappers. I think that I'm a big fan of Cypher Soze, who is on a lot of these underground tapes lately. I really like Asun Eastwood. I'm trying to think of the past 5 years. I don't know. I'm going to have to think on it. I don't want to answer too hastily. I know I'm going to forget people. Did you miss what I'm having for dinner? You did. I'm having this fried chicken place. It's called Biggs. It's very tasty. Do I listen to any post-rock bands like Explosion in the Sky? Yeah. I mean, I will say that I have tapered off. I don't listen as much as I used to. You really have to be in the right mood to put on a post-rock record. Even in the various cullings of my collection, though, I've kept most of my post-rock records because I think they're all pretty majestic in their own right. My favorite post-rock acts are Caspian, Explosion in the Sky, If These Trees Could Talk, or a couple other good ones. I mean, Hammock is kind of post-rocky, but it's a little more ethereal. Yeah, I love post-rock. I just, I haven't necessarily been in the mood for it in a minute. This Will Destroy You. Yeah, great choice. The sandwich on my Instagram story looked delicious. Oh my god, Nick, that sandwich was so good. It's a place called Gumba, and it was like a special. They only had it once, and I DM'd them and I was like, please bring it back. It was amazing. I don't even remember everything on it. It was like pastrami, pickled cabbage, egg salad. It was like a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and it all worked perfectly. It was fantastic. Have I checked Fly Anakin, who's a rapper out of Richmond? I have Fly Sifu, so yes, I do know that. I knew Pink Sifu more than Fly Anakin. But I like Pink's Fly Sifu a lot, so I should check out his solo work for sure. Godspeed, I feel like they never clicked with me. I feel like it wasn't like those other bands where it was a little more effortless to go on the journey with them sonically. I think Godspeed is a band that I have a lot of respect for, but I don't even own any of their records because for some reason it just didn't do it for me in the same way. Maybe it's a little heavier than some of the other post-rock. I don't know. And Janosch just mentioned Mogwai. I like Mogwai. I don't love Mogwai. I'm trying to think. Yeah, like I've never I like The Hawk is Howling. That's a pretty good record. I saw Mogwai live once, and it was the loudest show I've ever been to. I thought I was gonna go deaf. I didn't have earplugs or anything, and I was like, this is it. This is where I lose my hearing. It was the loudest thing I've ever heard. Have I ever felt at a point in my collecting that I've wanted to downsize dramatically? Yeah, every single day. The dichotomy of being a collector is that you always want to acquire more, but you also simultaneously want to have none of it. I think that I have a video planned actually for after I sign the lease for the store. And I'm going to be talking about what it means to cull a collection and how I do it, my rules, my philosophies. Because I do think that I'm going to be downsizing, a decent amount to get some cool stuff into the store. It could be to have this many records. Like I know a lot of people have a lot of records, but like to have too many records, it really does anchor you. Like if I ever wanted to move places, it would be a huge pain in the butt compared to a normal move, which is also a pain in the butt. So yeah, it's just it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to maintain. If someone offered me the median value of my collection on Discogs for everything, if I could keep 5 things, I would probably take it and just rebuild, because it would be A, fun to reacquire everything, and B, that's a lot of money. But I wouldn't want to sell it piecemeal because it's like a pain in the butt, and there's a lot of things that if I look at it, I'd be like, oh, I'm attached to this. But if like someone in a fell swoop was just like, here's a bunch of money, I might. Hey Michael, it's going well. How are you doing? Stuck on an island, I have a record player and one record. What do I got? Well, that record player is probably some kind of battery-driven suitcase player. So I'm not playing anything rare on it. No, I'm being a jerk. I mean, the one record, I'm trying to think of one record that I think I could listen to for the rest of my life. I mean, I feel like it's my favorite record, The National's Alligator. I feel like I've never once gotten sick of that album. But it very well could be something like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy too, because I feel like that's pretty varied sonically and, you know, has a lot of moods to it. Do I have any Bill Withers records? Nice. Yeah, I love Bill Withers. I have, what is it called? Still Bill? Is that what it's called? Just Bill? Still Bill? I have that, and I have his Mo-Fi live at Carnegie Hall, I believe. Yeah, he's one of my favorite voices in music. Unbelievable. What 5 things would I keep if someone offered me Discogs value? I mean, obviously the Pearl Jam Benaroya. I don't know. That's a question that, like, that's basically like if people every live stream say to me, like, hey, if your house was on fire, it's a lot of people wishing for my house to be on fire, theoretically, but if my house was on fire, what 5 things would you take? And I never have an answer because it would really be hard to figure that out. If I had to figure it out, it would take me, like, days to go through everything and figure out what specifically I would keep. I mean, it would have to be things that are almost irreplaceable. Pearl Jam Benaroya signed box set, that's irreplaceable. I have a few signed records that are probably irreplaceable. I have like a one-off record that Richard Houghton cut me that's like an unreleased album that's irreplaceable. I don't know if he'd want me to say that, but it was from a while ago. He might have released some of the songs since then, actually. Hey, Nick with the super chat coming in strong. For my chicken, thank you. You know, because of that, I'm getting fried mac and cheese bites. Because of you. You just pushed me over the edge to be as porky as I can be tonight, so thank you for that. Have I ever checked out Bill Callahan, lo-fi folk cult artist? The name sounds extremely familiar, but I don't know if I've actually heard him. Can you send me some examples and I will add it to my my endless list of recommendations? Hey, Nikki, just in time. Just, 5 minutes before I'm leaving. I'm glad you made it, though. Bright Eyes Lifted for you. I mean, yeah, Lifted is an incredible album. I still think I'm Wide Awake It's Morning is a better record, but to each their own. I mean, Lifted is incredible, too. Where will the store be located? So it's going to be in Portland. I don't want to jinx it and say the specific location yet. Just know that we are down the road. Man, my voice, I'm losing it. We're down the road with a location and really hoping that it comes to fruition, really hoping that it works out. The Nationals Alligator has become one of your favorites in the past year. Excellent, Nick. That means my brainwashing has worked. Joshua, do colored vinyl affect the quality at all? I'm relatively new to collecting. Well, welcome, first and foremost, to the most rewarding and expensive hobby you will ever have. The answer is the color itself most of the time does not affect anything. The short answer is that it's mostly about how the record was cut and mastered and the source that was used versus the actual coloring. I have a video on the channel that I really think you should watch. It's not that long. I think it's called Black versus Colored Vinyl, The Truth. Definitely check that out. It's a great watch. It's one of my favorite videos I've done. And it's something that's a hugely common misconception that colored vinyl sounds worse than black vinyl. It's just not true. The only thing that might hold true is that black vinyl will last more plays. But no one will play, your average person will never play a record enough times to really see that metric come to fruition. A signed Block Party picture disc. That's cool. Other than records and music memorabilia, anything else I collect or I'm interested in? Well, yeah, I have like a boatload of signed posters and screen printed art and then I'm also into like figures, statues and stuff like that. With records, it's kind of difficult to maintain other expensive hobbies. But I love screen printed art, collecting that, and framing them up. My whole house is full of really beautiful art from pop culture or just artists I like, or gig posters, and it makes me really happy when I walk through and I see it all. Favorite 80s hip-hop record? Oof. That is a question. I'm going to look and see when one came out to make sure that I get this right. I just want to make sure that this is from the 80s. Why is this not working? Here we go. There we go. 89. All right. The Biz Never Sleeps by Biz Markie is probably my favorite 80s record, hip-hop record. I'm not a huge fan of 80s hip-hop. I respect where hip-hop came from and what it meant in the early days of the movement. Like, I really actually do enjoy Grandmaster Flash. Like, The Message is one of my favorite hip-hop songs. I think it's just, like, extremely poignant. It's fun. It's danceable. It's singable. It has everything that makes a good hip-hop song. But so much early hip-hop is, like... And there's so many people that make fun of it like this, but it's like, I went to the store and then I found there was a girl that lives in my town. Like, that's the vibe of all the hip-hop from that era for the most part. And it's a little dated to me. It's like, I don't know. For me, it's just not necessarily something that I would want to listen to. But I do acknowledge that some of the early greats are... Wait a minute. Am I a fool for the Biz Markie thing? Hold on. I'm an idiot. It's Raising Hell by Run DMC. I thought that was like, for some reason, I thought that was like 90, but it was 86. Okay. Obviously, it's Raising Hell. Run DMC. That's a fantastic record. But yeah, that's generally my thought on 80s hip-hop, which I might get crucified for, but that's fine. I'm a huge hip-hop fan. Is my Discogs list public? It's not, because it's not up to date by any means. I will have a public Discogs store when the store is open, but right now my Discogs is so out of like, it's so inaccurate. I've done such a terrible job keeping it up that it wouldn't make sense. And I've also liked to keep it more private because I also like to reveal my collection over time on the channel. I feel like a lot of people could just like see what I have if it was accurate and then be like, okay, I'm done. I saw it all. And then bounce. Any interest in film as a medium? So what's funny is that I am not a movie person. I mean, there are movies I love, of course. I'm a human, but like, I will almost never elect to watch a movie before I would rather play a video game, listen to an album, watch a TV show. Those for me are my main probably media outlets. And movies, I just always, it's just such a commitment for me to sit down for like 2 hours and just like not participate and just watch something. Obviously, I appreciate a lot of films. My favorite movie is The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, I guess that could tell you right there that I'm not a huge movie person. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm way more of a TV guy. Where in Portland is the TMR record store looking like it's going to be? I will say for now, it's probably going to be on the east side if I get this location. If not, who knows? But I'm still gunning for the east side. Any Funko Pops in my figure collection? I used to have a lot more. I kind of lost interest in Funkos. I have a biggie one right here. I have the child from Mandalorian, little Grogu up there. I have a blue crystal Heisenberg that I got at Comic-Con years ago up there. And then I have a custom pop that Oliver Jamie, who I don't know if he left, he was here when we first started, but Oliver made me into a Funko Pop years ago, and it's one of my most prized possessions. I'm wearing my Pearl Jam hat, and I'm holding Vitology. It's so cool. One of the nicest things anyone's ever done for me, I think. A record store that I've never been to that I would like to go to. Good question. That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of ones I buy from online on Discogs that I'm like, man, I'd love to check that store. I feel like Plaid Room Records, I've ordered a lot from them, and I would love to see their brick and mortar. Red Scroll, I order from them a decent amount on Discogs. I like to see what they're doing. And I guess the real answer is I'd love to hit the 3 Reckless Records in Chicago. I feel like those are probably huge and massive digs, but if you spend a day, it's probably worth it. Vinyl Rewind. We got a celebrity in here. Oh, I need to put on something. This is from my microphone. Didn't work. My man, Vinyl Rewind. I miss you, dude. Come up. You better come up to the store when it's open and come do a video with me. Gives you a good excuse to get out of LA. What games am I playing right now? It's a great question. I've been gaming a lot lately. It's been my wind down because I've been so busy with the store and my job. I've been playing a lot of games. I just played through both Xenoblade games on the Switch, which were a ton of fun. I just beat Scarlet Nexus, which is like a PS5 kind of like cyberpunky action RPG. I've been gaming hard. Like, it's been my best way to kind of like to vinyl rewind and relax, from the day. You got your TMR cork mat today. That's awesome, Tom. Take a picture and post it in the group or on Instagram so I can repost it for you. I will say if you used a felt, you will probably notice a difference with the cork. I much prefer cork mats to felt. I prefer rubber to both, and I prefer acrylic to that, but I couldn't find a way to do a custom rubber mat, so cork was my best bet. Josh, you're in New York City. Have I been to any shops here? That's so funny. I used to live in New York City. I'm from the East Coast. So I have probably 3 videos on the channel all about digging at New York City stores. After you watch the black versus colored vinyl video, search NYC or New York. I forget what I titled them as. And go watch them. They're awesome. Some of the stores might not exist anymore because I think the earliest video was 2016 maybe. But definitely some good stuff in there. Just finished Ratchet and Clank on PS5. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I played the PS4 Ratchet and Clank early last year, and I really enjoyed it. My buddy here in Portland just beat the new Ratchet and Clank, so I'm going to borrow that from him, and he just borrowed Persona 5 Royal from me, which I'm trying to... He gave it a chance a while ago. He gave the original Persona 5 a chance, and he was, like, not into it, and I was like, try it again, because that's one of my favorite games ever, and hopefully he enjoys it. Xenoblade it was a very fun game, but it was also very long. Like, each game was like 65 hours, and they both have epilogues that are like DLC epilogues that are like 15 to 20 hours each. It was so much, and by the end of it, I got a little burnt out. I probably shouldn't have played them back to back, but the stories are really good, and the characters are good. It's just a commitment. Thoughts on certain labels charging $400 for single LP records? Do I think the market allows for that kind of thing? I think that ERC, I don't want to get into the controversy between Mike from the In-Groove and Michael Fremer. I feel like I don't want to be a part of that conversation. It just, it seems like a bit of a slap fight between both of them. And I like both of them a lot. I think they're both incredible resources in their own right. I think ERC holds a very specific place within the community. It's for people with a lot of disposable income who want to have a very unique pressing, high quality pressing of a record they love, and they're willing to spend $500 on it. I think that collector exists in spades. It's the same person that would drop $50,000 on their sound system, even though it doesn't necessarily sound that much better than a $10,000 sound system. It's really just a point of like doing what makes you happy with your own money. And I don't think people should get that up in arms about ERC, because if it's not for you, it's not for you. Just don't buy it. You know, like, obviously it's for some people. They sell out instantly. So, you know, if you don't like it, just don't care, because they're gonna put up an order. It's gonna sell out in a second and move on. That's my take. I'm allowed to keep one record in my collection. It's my Pearl Jam Benaroya Hall signed box set. I feel like I should put a sign here that says, my first album was the National Alligator. Put a sign here that say, my number one record I would keep is the Pearl Jam Benaroya Hall box set. And then I should put a sign here that says, I don't know what my 5 Desert Island records are. And then put a sign here that says hi. All right, we're at the hour. When did the hour mark come? All right, I'll do like 1 or 2 more questions. You guys have been great tonight. Lots of interesting things to talk about. You got me on like 2 or 3 rants, which is rare. I try not to rant on these live streams, but you got me talking about a few things that I feel somewhat passionate about. So, thoughts on Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard? I mean, yeah, all these, it's like Disney. It's like, you know, everything's about to be like the same 4 companies that own everything. It's going to be, we're moving into like a very dystopian society. I don't want to get into this right now. I feel like this is going to get too dark for a lighthearted live stream. But yeah, definitely a interesting acquisition. How important is a sound system? How important will a sound system be in the new store? Something I'll slowly build, or have big plans to start? Honestly, I mean, I'm planning on just having my old Pioneer turntable and receiver hooked up to some speakers. I don't, you know, this is not a showroom. This is not an audiophile store. I don't think it needs to be the highest hi-fi. I think that setup sounds great. You know, Nagaoka MP110 Kart, you know, it's a workhorse of a receiver. It's, you know, I think that as long as I can play music that sounds good, that's all that really matters. The store environment isn't exactly the perfect place to sit down and appreciate an album either. So my goal is to play music that's welcoming and that people will enjoy while they're listening, but also play things that I have for sale. So it's like, I'll put a record up that I have in the store, and hopefully someone's like, hey, who is this? And I'll be like, oh, it's this, and it's for sale. And I think that's a really cool sales tactic, because then you can enjoy the music and it can kind of sell itself, you know? Kid A or OK Computer? Kid A, but just by a margin. They're both fantastic. Tips on identifying pressing plants when adding classic rock LPs? No, that's honestly a world that I am not, like the Pitman and all like the different plants from that era. Yeah, I can't even begin to like parse through. It's such a pain in the butt to figure out which pressing when there's like 90 pressings listed. That's something that's part of the reason my collection is like isn't on Discogs properly. It's like, that's such a pain. You're going to dip, but you're glad you found my channel. I seem super cool and down to earth. Thank you so much. Well, welcome to the community, Joshua. And I look forward to seeing you on future videos and comments, and hopefully more live streams. If you have questions, always feel free to hit me up. And if you have a Facebook, we have a Facebook group about the channel and a Facebook group about just records in general. So make sure you join both. That's a good note to end on, guys. TMR 14 pre-order is coming out Friday. Get your wallets ready. Get your ears ready. It's a good one. I'm excited about it. Hopefully news about the store in the next week or 2. It's going to be a good 2022. Let's do it together. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great rest of your night.